Another case of liberal hypocrisy, this time regarding mental health. Over the past few years, there have been studies showing that liberals have lower mental health than other sides of the political spectrum. So we're going to delve into that and the lifestyle choices they make that contribute to that. Let's get into it. Most liberals reject the idea of the Christian God. Most liberals reject the idea of faith, and they place science above faith. Most liberals, they honor citing sources. That's a value of theirs, is being able to cite peer-reviewed sources. So this is important because it leads into mental illness. Because as we've also seen, those of us who are believers or more on the right, we've seen that mental illness runs rampant in liberal circles. So you'll see a lot of people saying that they have this so-called diagnosis, or that they have multiple diagnoses, right? Also, in these circles, what I've noticed is you'll see a lot of self-diagnosing. So a lot of these liberals will go around and saying that they have a disorder. The most popular ones are ADHD, ADD, autism, being on the spectrum, or having both ADHD and autism, having OCD, rejection sensitivity disorder, having oppositional defiance disorder, having POTS. That's a new one that I've been seeing pop up. It's more of a physiological issue than a mental issue, but that's a popular one. But a lot of them are self-diagnosed. You'll hear them say they have this diagnosis, but when you get into actual conversation, then they'll say like, well, they went to get tested, but the results came back that they don't have it. But they know, like, they feel and believe that they have it. So therefore, they're going to take that label for themselves and tell people that's a disorder that they have, and that's a disorder that is impacting their lives. And therefore, they require special accommodations and special treatment for that said disorder. But as far as the science and sources go, they don't have that disorder. That's just something that they believe. And so that's a contradiction, hypocrisy. The way liberals think, that's something I wanted to bring forward. Because for a group of people that value the science and the sources and the research, if you bring anything to them that is not approved by their scientists and what they determine to be a statistic, then they're going to reject it and say, well, that doesn't exist. And say, how can you pit faith above proven science, right? But these same people, they talk about having disorders. When come to find out, they don't even have that disorder. They've never been diagnosed. So their own scientists and doctors are not in line with their belief, but they go along with it anyway. So in a sense, you could say that's like having an inflated sense of self, and you could even say it's a type of faith where you can reject the appointed figures and say, well, yeah, they say they're wrong, but I still believe this is what I have. Or especially in liberal circles, they'll say they believe this is who they are, right? Because every label becomes who they are rather than something that they're just going through. And not only do they go along with this belief, this unproven belief that they have a diagnosis, then they demand special accommodations and special treatment from the people around them, from the workplace. And if you don't abide by it, then they're going to try to enforce some sort of social and financial consequences. But they don't have this diagnosis. They will tell coworkers and people around them give them all these different set of rules, like they can't do this, or don't say or do this thing around them because of their diagnosis and their sensitivities. But the diagnosis doesn't even exist. Like, they said it themselves. Like, they went to get tested and it comes back negative. Even multiple times they've gone to get tested for the same disorders, and the doctors say they don't have it. And so liberals complain that religious people and that Christians and followers of Christ are imposing their belief system onto them and forcing them to abide by their rules, which is hypocrisy, because these same people will create a mental disorder and go around saying they have this said disorder without a diagnosis, and tell you that you need to change the way that you behave and speak and even feel around them, and tell companies and corporations that they need to change their value set and how they do marketing, all to appease them for a disorder that they don't even have. So you tell me who is imposing their beliefs onto the other side. And never mind the fact that even if you do have these said disorders, that doesn't give you the right to tell people to change how they behave around you, or to change their values or how they feel about certain things. But nonetheless, and also we could also get into why is mental illness so rampant in liberal spaces to begin with. Like, why do so many liberals want to have a label, a diagnosis? That's for a different video. Also, liberals say that religious people are mentally ill. They say people who believe in God having mental illness, that religion itself is a mental illness. Yet, these are the same people who say or claim that they have a mental disorder. So, are we really going to let mentally ill people tell us what's right and what's wrong? These are the same people that need to go to therapy every week or even multiple times a week. And they project their experience onto others and say that everyone needs to go to therapy. Just some food for thought, capturing another case of liberal hypocrisy. If you've noticed this yourself or have experienced it in the workplace or have more insights to share, drop your comments below and stay tuned for the next one.